All right, let's take a look at the Austin, Texas real estate market because there's an interesting phenomenon happening right now. People feel like the market's bad. They feel like the market's not good. And so they're trying to figure out, what do we do right now? Should I buy right now? Should I hold off until next year to sell? And so I'm gonna take a look at that because I talk about that on a monthly basis. But man, I wanted to address the energy and the attitude around the market because people all around town and all around the nation really are experiencing something similar as we are here in Austin, Texas, is that the market's not good. Well, I'm here to say that that's not true. And as much as you hear as the market not being good, is that there's a whole nother level, a whole nother experience that's actually happening in the market that is an advantage and causing for properties to sell for more, causing to properties to sell quicker. All right, let's break it down here. All right, first and foremost, yes, the market has experienced a glutton of inventory increasing the last several months up to over 18,000 homes on the market. That's a 6-month supply of homes. So the market feels fat. It feels fat. It feels bloaty, right? That feeling you got when you drank too much soda or beer or ate too much barbecue. The market feels bloated right now, and it's true. It is. And so you have a significant number, a heavy majority of the market that feels like the market's bad because they're not selling. Because there's only one type of property that's selling. Actually, two. All right, let's get to the first one. The first type of property that's selling is the properties that have more features and benefits, more upgrades and more updates, priced competitively. Priced competitively. Meaning they're priced similarly to the other homes on the market, but they have more features and benefits. You don't get to price more because you have more features and benefits. You have to price similar to the same to get people to show up because buyers are not even showing up to homes that they feel are overpriced. How do I know? I have dozens of listings, and I can tell you this masterminding and being part of a top producer class here that communicates on a monthly basis is that it's across the board. If you're not priced competitively and have more features and benefits, then look, they're not even showing up. They're not making offers. Those are the only types of properties that are selling unless you're at the bottom of the barrel. And by bottom of the barrel, I mean you're priced 3 to 5% below everybody else on the market, and it could still take you 30 to 45 days to sell that property because you don't have as many upgrades or updates, and so you're just not as attractive. And so the attractive properties are selling, only the ones that are priced aggressively, competitively, and the others are not showing up. So you have these three classes here, the more features and benefits priced competitively, and then you have the bottom of the barrel, and then those are very small number of homes on the market, and then you got this big fat middle of everybody else complaining and whining and moaning about how the market's not good, and it's not good for them because they're not willing to go down below the lowest price, right? They don't have the features and benefits. They don't have the money to put into the property to be able to price competitively and be competitive on the condition of their property. And so it is with this market, folks, is that properties that are priced right are still selling in 30 to 45 days or less. We still have seen, just last week, saw $1.2 million up here in Northwest Austin. Multiple offers sell 100,000 plus over asking price. Okay, so look, the market wasn't bad for that guy, right? What happened? More features and benefits, priced competitively. Now, for properties that are selling, if they have more features and benefits and they're priced competitively, then they're selling quicker. Look, there is still opportunity for you to be able to get more for your property, but there are fewer and far between those people in those scenarios or having that capacity financially. And so the real big question is right now, should I be taking action in the market? And the real answer is, well, just depends. I mean, if you're a seller and you're looking to be able to get rid of this property in the next year or less, I mean, you really don't want to hold on to it long-term as a rental. You really can't afford to hold two properties while you've been transferred out of state for a job. And this is going to be a financial burden to you. Look, get rid of that property faster. You got to sell now, sell faster. Time is your enemy. Next year won't be better. How do I know this? 23 wasn't better. 24 wasn't better. 22 was the crash, made it to December, 20 to 30%, depending on the area that you were in. And then 24, we were a little like this, up and down on value, a little bit up, just a little bit, 3 to 5%. 24, same thing, little up and down, up just a little bit, 3 to 5%, just a little bit. Now, I know there's some outliers out there, right? Where somebody's gonna say, well, my neighborhood has gone up a little bit more than that. My neighborhood has gone down a lot more than that. There's outliers, right? But as a whole, that's what the market did. 23, 24, stabilizing after a crash, mid 22 to end of 22. Now 25, what's going on? We nudged upwards a little bit in 25. April and May were flat. June doesn't look so great. The numbers are down stereotypically from where they normally are in June. And so the downgrading of the market, meaning Redfin and Zillow, are projecting for third and fourth quarters to be flat or negative. Look, don't hold till next year. You're going to lose money. Or worse, you're in the same position and then it costs you some more money to put back into the house to get it ready for market. And who knows what's going to happen next year? Who knows what's happening in the third or fourth quarter based off of the economy, employment rates, the tax, all the tariff stuff that's been going on. Look, there is way too much uncertainty in the market. Now, on the other side, if you can hold this property for at least a couple of years, hold. If you're on the market right now and you're either one of those scenarios, look, get off the market, rent this property out, or sell sooner than later, even if you're gonna lose a little bit of money, because you can lose a lot more money later. I've had clients in that scenario specifically where they've been holding on the last year, they've been holding on the last 2 years, and things have not been getting better. 25 is probably gonna be a little more of the same. And then instead of 23 and 24 nudging upwards, 25 could be nudging downwards. And you held for a loss. And now it's costing you more money. You gotta sell faster. Time is the enemy, or hold that puppy for at least a couple more years. All right, buyers, because of all of this gluttony of homes on the market, are seeing lots of opportunity for properties that are brand new, bending over backwards, offering 4% or 5% fixed interest rates. Are you kidding me? And plus, on top of that, offering $20,000, $40,000, $60,000 credits towards your closing costs, towards upgrades, towards buying down the rate. I mean, all kinds of things happening for new home builders and resale homes in the market. For those who are motivated and have the capacity, are cooperating, they're contributing, they're crediting, they're making repairs, they're doing whatever it takes to get the property sold while everyone else sits around. And hey, I get it. You may not have the capacity to make those kind of repairs or upgrades or updates. You may not be able to come down lower on price because you bought it in 2020 or 2021 or worse, 2022. And so you got to figure things out. Having a conversation with somebody who can provide options and can give you the clarity that you need with some of the inside market information that you're not going to get online, that you're not going to have the experience with to figure out, okay, what can I do here? What direction can I go? What's best for me? What's really happening in my neighborhood to understand what direction am I headed? That's exactly why we're in business, is to have these conversations for us to be able to give you clarity so that ultimately you can get what you want in the time frame that you want it. And it may not be initially what you really did want, but you're protecting yourselves. You're making decisions based off of knowledge and wisdom and experience. Stay tuned.